Who is it?
I'm a plumber. I'm here to fix your, plumbing.
Well, that's really hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Come on in, little man.
Yes. Do you mind if my camera crew comes in with me?
No, not at all.
I'm filming a, plumbing TV show for MTP, which is Music Television Plumbers. And I will be just having them with me, wink, for that reason.
Wow, that's quite unique.
Yes.
What an enterprising young man.
Yes, well, it's not my idea. I'm just the actor. The MTP network has sent me here, and they just thought you would be a great candidate for our first episode.
Well, I'm glad you thought an 87-year-old man would be a good candidate for your first episode. Come on in, fix my pipes.
Thank you. Okay, so first I'm going to need you to go to the bathroom with me.
I don't like where this is going.
You don't?
No, not really.
No, I'm going to need you to. So you're going to come with me to the bathroom, please. Okay, perfect. You've followed me. Excellent. Now I need you to take off your pants.
I bought these for my grandson. These pants. He's
Why are
very
you wearing
small.
them?
I did not realize how...
So you didn't think about that?
Yeah, you know.
Okay, well, just regardless, take your pants off, please. I'll just hold on to them so they don't get dirty.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, thank you. Now you've taken off your pants. Excellent. So can you just pee in the toilet to show me what the problem is?
Sure. I'm pissing.
I can see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna flush the toilet really quick. You can put your pants back on. Here you go.
Okay.
It seems like your toilet's fine. I don't know why they sent me here. I don't know why they sent me here and told me to have you take off your pants with the camera crew in the room. And they just told me to just go from there. And I don't understand why they sent me here. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye, young man. What a nice boy.
Good Idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It is a comedy podcast where we find creative, actionable solutions to your real-life problems. I'm Aiden Kinsella.
And I'm Bradley Berklich.
And this is Good Idea. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How are you today, Bradley? You're a college boy now.
I am. I'm at college. I'm in my dorm room at college.
What's that like?
It's lonely.
Beer everywhere? Just like lots of beer?
Oh my God, of course.
Okay, good. I was worried. And what are you going to do if, like, campus safety comes in? Just, like, blame it on your roommate?
Oh, yeah,
That's what I would
drinks
do.
a ton. Yeah, of course.
All right, we got it on record now. We can submit this to the court and get him arrested.
Please don't do that.
Please, I'm going to do that.
Oh.
I'm going to submit this to court with their submission box that they have, where people can come to submit crimes that people did.
That's what Spider-Man did, didn't he? He just tied people up and left them outside, court.
I do think that was what Spider-Man did. I don't know. I never saw Spider-Man, so...
Oh, well, I've never seen Spider-Man and me in the same room either. I don't know why you'd insinuate I'm Spider-Man, but that's kind of cool.
Well,
I'll take that as a compliment.
You basically just said that you were Spider-Man.
No, I did.
So I'm going to submit that to the court.
Aww.
The court thing. I'm also going to give J. Jonah Jameson the link to our Instagram.
Oh.
Because he wants pictures of Spider-Man, so I just figured... yeah, they might want that. Yeah, so that's sort of where I'm at. I'm stalling now because I'm trying to find the prompts.
Do you want me to pick a prompt?
Yeah, go for it.
What's the most polite way to start a bar fight?
The most polite... Who's that from?
I don't know. It doesn't say. No one.
I think that's from Keegan.
Okay, we should label that. That's Keegan.
That's Keegan. That's my fault. Oopsie. That is Keegan. So, the most polite way to start a bar fight. Excuse me, sir. Could we start a bar fight, please?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, well, we did that one, so let's do another prompt. And, I don't know. I feel like just asking nicely would be, the same way you might try to solve any problem.
That's very polite, but it's also a bad way to start a bar fight. Now, what I think you should do is I think you should give a lady a chair, but give a lady someone else's chair. Pull out another chair from underneath the man at the bar and then put it under her.
So it's polite because you're giving the lady the chair, and then it starts a bar fight because you've knocked another man over.
Yes.
Remember, before you do that, though, you have to kick your own stool out. That's very important. Just, like, sort of kick your stool out from under you before you go do this maneuver, because that sort of signals to everyone that you are looking for a fight. So that means that, like, when you do this pulling a chair out from under somebody gesture, it doesn't seem meaningless or like an accident.
Okay, great. That's very efficient. Yeah.
It's very efficient.
Any other ways?
Any other ways? I feel like just like, I don't know about other ways to start a bar fight politely, but like maybe a thank you note when you're done. Just like get their address, make sure, and then you can send them a thank you note for the fight.
Thanks for the bar fight, bud. I always enjoy a good bar fight. And you made this one special.
Can you make sure that your fork is in your right hand and your knife is in your left hand when you use those, if you use those as weapons during the fight?
Okay, yeah. No, very polite.
Yeah, for sure.
What are other social courtesies? Do you have to like shake the guy's hand?
I feel like you should be shaking the other person's hand the entire time during the fight, just like to show that it's cordial and just sort of very professional.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know if have you read Emily Post's like Guide for Etiquette in Business and Culture and in fucking Personal Lives or whatever it is?
I have not. I don't even know who Emily Post is.
Emily Post is like the person who did all of the manners stuff.
All of it?
And it's in like a book. Yeah, she did like all of it is the weird thing.
Forever?
And it sounds like I'm joking, but she for like American society, Emily Post is basically the one who did all of it.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just sort of shake their hand the whole time. I'm trying to think of other like mannerly stuff.
Maybe you fight Emily Post.
Well, yeah. I mean, anything involving Emily Post, she's going to make sure that it is very, very mannerly and very, very polite. So I think that way she'll even do all the legwork for you. And you can write her a separate thank you note for that. And that's just extra politeness, right? And like, it's always polite to treat a woman with respect. And you'd be respecting her by letting her fight you.
Yeah. If we kill Emily Post, does that get rid of all courtesy in the United States as we know it?
I think if you kill Emily Post, it would be really cool because she's already dead.
Does it like start the purge?
I don't know if it starts the purge if you kill Emily because once again, she's already dead. But I think you have a lot more to worry about in regards to laws of the universe as opposed to laws of the United States if you manage to kill Emily Post. More like Emily Ghost, am I right?
Yes.
In modern day. But if you were to kill her family, who is still holding up the manners empire that Emily started, I would think that would start, maybe not like the purge of like law, but definitely a purge of like societal law. I think right off the bat, gender norms completely disappear. I think like people immediately stop removing their hats when a lady enters the room.
Oh, of course.
I mean, like, because I always do that, right? I always have my hat on because that's just sort of how I am. And I remove my hat when a lady enters the room. Never wear a hat inside. It's impolite.
Well, I don't. Do you think maybe the world started like losing all its manners after Emily Post died? Could we Google Analytics sort of this general downward trend of mannerism?
I would say that you have used the word mannerism incorrectly, but yeah, I think that aside from that, the general premise of your question there is, since Emily Post died, her family has been doing their best to mitigate the loss of manners, but like she was the only thing really holding the society together.
Huh.
Can we do another prompt?
Yeah, sure. We've got like the apocalypse almost.
Dope as hell.
Do you want to pick?
I do want to pick. So I have received a prompt from Erin King of the Unabashedly Obsessed podcast, at UFO Podcast on Twitter. And she has said competitive judging, where you are judged on how well you judge. Now, right off the bat, I don't think Emily Post or her family will be very happy with this because judging is not a very polite thing to do.
How else are you supposed to evaluate different people? I need to find the best person. How else am I supposed to do that if not judging?
No, you have to judge. I'm just saying I don't think Emily Post would be very happy with it, but she's dead, so whatever.
Okay.
Like, to quote Lin-Manuel Miranda, do whatever you want, I'm super dead. Like, Emily Post is dead, so
Lin-Manuel Miranda said that?
Well, he said that in the form of his writing.
Oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda's dead.
Well, no.
This is so disappointing. I thought he was making a musical version of the Bible next.
Oh, shit. No, that was actually Trey Parker and Matt Stone that did that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
They make Godspell?
No, they made Book of Mormon.
Oh.
Is Book of Mormon the sequel to Godspell?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Godspell 2. This time, Salt Lake City.
Godspell 2. This time, it's Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I think competitive judging is a really interesting concept because, I don't know, is this a game that you play like in real courtrooms, or is it more of like a reality show where so think about like The Voice style show, right? There are the judges and they train you and they also judge whether or not you stay on the teams, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that show, but then it's another show that's basically filming people watching The Voice give their reactions to how well the judges are judging. I wouldn't do it like that. If I were Adam Levine, I would have done this instead. And they just sort of mark negatives and positives, maybe through some sort of scoring rubric that says like, oh man, Carrie Underwood, you fucked that one up. You should have judged that way better.
I like this.
Or like, hey, you did a really nice job. Hey, Bill, and one of them's named Bill, I think. Hey, Bill, you did a good one on that.
There's like a million...
Or Blake. I'm thinking of Blake.
There's like 10 billion different voice things. They're all like the same thing, but different branding.
Yeah. Oh, Shakira, I know your hips don't lie, but your mouth does. I know you thought that they were better than the other person, but you picked the other person anyway.
Does Shakira judge the voice?
I think so. Maybe not. Doesn't matter.
We don't know anything. I don't know anything. I can't speak for Aiden. Aiden probably knows something.
I know things.
Oh, okay.
So,
refreshing.
I know more than one thing. I am a consummate professional. That's actually my Twitter bio should just be a consummate professional. I think that would be the best way to describe myself.
Heck yeah.
So I like this competitive judging thing. Do we have competitive judging?
Ooh, this gets complex fast, doesn't it?
I mean, I think there's just always a market for like game show type reality television, right? Mm-hmm. Because once you watch one, like you're like, what am I supposed to watch? So you know how like The Voice will run for like an hour and a half every night. I think it should be that, and then immediately after The Voice, it's just another show about people judging the judges on The Voice, and then it's just that all the way down. It's competitive judging all the way down.
Okay, I like that.
And then it circles around until the next day when the next episode of The Voice plays. So it's just this constant 24-hour entertainment stream. So
is that kind of like MTV, but just for singing shows where you judge the other show?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like JTV, like judging television.
This is like the perfect television show because I know everyone
everyone loves to judge, but they need an outlet for it because it's, as we said, not appropriate in polite society.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do another prompt?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. What can I do to expand my AC? Now, I don't exactly know what this is referring to because there are many things that AC stands for.
Armor class. Thanks, Keegan.
That's boring. Air conditioning. Assassin's Creed. Animal Crossing.
I think we could do both. I think we could do all of them.
All of them?
First of all. Yeah, let's just do as many of them as is appropriate.
Okay.
So you want to expand the air conditioning. Now, Bradley, you're standing right now in a hot room because you had to turn off your fan for the recording.
Yes.
Please, what would you do to expand your air conditioning?
I would get one. They don't allow us to have them here. Literally, no air conditioning. We have fans. So I would get maybe like 6 or 7 more fans.
Okay, I like that. What about just like an ice bath, just on the floor?
That would be sick. Also really cold.
Well, you don't get in it. It just conditions the air, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like conditioning the air, you know? Mm-hmm. I would think maybe, here's what I would do. Personally, I would put the air in like a lab type setting, and I would give the air like meat and ring a bell at the same time, and I would do that a whole bunch until in the future, like I ring the bell, and then the air like thinks there's going to be meat.
Wow,
that's how I would condition the air if it were me.
That's a very Pavlov's dog approach to it.
Well, there's other ways to do it. I mean, I could reward the air every time it does what I want. I could give the air small rewards every time it gets closer to doing what I want, sort of shape it into performing the way I want it to.
This is almost sinister.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like mastering the air, this is, if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is actually what they were doing. They just cut all of this out because it didn't make for good TV. They were just using conditioning methods, like psychological conditioning methods, to make the elements, quote unquote, around them behave in the way they wanted them to. That was like the whole premise of the show, but they don't explain that outside of the director's commentary.
I totally missed that. I have to say, honest to God, all the times I've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, I have never once ever understood that point, and I feel...
Well, yeah, because this is the director's commentary. It's fine. It's not your fault. It's not a fault of you. They just should have explained that better in the show.
They really should.
Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff in that show that the directors just explain in the commentary that's like, oh, I didn't realize that Aang was actually a 57-year-old man. Like,
the arrow on his head actually always points north. He just always happens to face north. That person's friend was also the moon? Like, what was up with that?
Yeah, that whole thing. Oh, that was another psychological concept about sort of projecting. So she wasn't actually the moon, but she wanted to be the moon, and because she was sad that she wasn't, she made the moon feel like it was her and then turned into the moon.
Wow.
And I've read psychology books, and so I know that what I just said made perfect sense, and it might not make sense to you, but I've definitely read more psychology books than anyone listening to this, and that's real secret psychology right there. The whole thing with Avatar is actually it was trying to get more people into the STEM field, specifically into the psychology part of the STEM fields. Wow. So make of that what you will. It was actually like a huge propaganda show.
What is what's the like best psychology book you've ever read?
I've read 2 that I really enjoyed. I mean, I've read a number of them. 2 of them I would say are the best things I've ever read, and one of them is called the 7 Laws of Magical Thinking. I can't remember. It's literally in the other room. It's a book about magical thinking. How irrational beliefs keep us happy, healthy, and sane. I remembered. And then the other one is Why is the Penis Shaped Like That? And Other Reflections on Being Human by Jesse Baring. And that I would say is the best thing I've ever read. And I actually just finished it 2 days ago, and I just gave it to somebody yesterday to read.
How was it?
It was really very, very good. It was really good. Every chapter covered like a different thing, and there were so many different things that were covered. And every chapter also ended, for the most part, with like a stupid pun, which I really liked. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it, though. Strongly recommend reading it. But I would say those are just books, though. But Avatar: The Last Airbender is definitely the best like psychological learning content that I've seen.
Heck yeah!
Like that's the reason I want to major in psych in college. That show, a lot of people talk about how good it is. Like they're like, that was the best show when I was a kid. It's because that they knew all of the different psychological subliminal messaging tactics they could use to make you fall in love with it. Like a lot of people don't see that because they're not trained minds.
Aiden has been training for years and years to become especially acclimated to textbooks and brains.
Yeah, I know all about brains. And actually, if my psych professor this year finds this, can you just like, I would love it if you just like give me an A+ in your class and I don't have to do anything because I already know. That's the weird thing is I already know.
He's got it. Aiden got it. He has it.
This is court evidence that I know because this holds up in court as we've discussed before. So you can just give me an A+. I already know all the shit. Hey, do you want to do another prompt?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I just remembered what this prompt was. Let's keep going on this one.
Okay, sure. What's your new point?
I want to expand my armor class.
Oh, okay. Wear armor.
Okay, well, that would actually help a lot because I don't usually wear armor. Fuck. Okay, we're good.
I thoroughly recommend some scale mail.
Scale mail?
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be as good as plate mail if we're trying to expand our armor class.
Plate mail is expensive.
I didn't think about that.
It's so awful being a poor adventurer.
It actually sucks. Like, I mean, a poor adventurer is one thing, but then specifically being a poor knight, like, you got to get all those, like, diamond-encrusted swords.
And shit.
And all those, like, fun golden crowns that you wear. Because, like, knights wear crowns. That's a thing that they don't portray in media very much. But knights are usually, like, disgraced kings. And they take their crown with them.
You gotta, like, have so many fucking crowns. It's ridiculous.
You have to have so many crowns.
I was a knight once. It was just too much. I had to stop becoming a knight and just started becoming a disgraced king again.
Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah. I have never personally been a knight, but, like, I have been a squire.
Oh.
I was a squire for a really long time. I spent a significant portion of time just sort of, how do I put this delicately, murdering my bosses, like, just sort of, like, all of their pets.
Oh.
Like, whatever knight that I was with, I would just murder their pets. And that's the most delicate way I could put it, because if I were to describe to you, like, exactly what it was I was doing to them and why I was doing what I was doing to them, I think that would be very upsetting. So we'll just say, very delicately, I murdered all of their pets.
Oh, I've never murdered anyone's pets.
Well, yeah, but you haven't been a squire, because the squire has to do all the dirty work. Like, when you were a knight, you had a squire doing that for you, right?
Oh, I did have a squire kill all my pets for me. I did forget that part where I made him kill my dog.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Being a squire is hard.
Sad world.
Should we do another prompt? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right.
It's making me sad.
Yeah. It was a sad time.
Because I named them all. I named them all first. I read a thing on Yahoo Answers. It was like, before you kill an animal, Make sure you name it.
100% make sure.
Just like
You'll get
100%. But the problem is like it was a prank. It was a Yahoo Answers prank.
Oh,
and they put it there
you.
to make me feel shitty. Because like I have like Carl the rabbit. Fuck. Pick a prompt. Change it. I mean, I could do it, but I can't.
Well, maybe you came up with this. I don't remember who made this up. We were sitting in the car, and I remember the idea was so good that you made me type it up and write it down. And the idea is Salt Patch Kids.
Salt. Fuck.
We were driving around. You're like, Brad, that thing either you or I just said is so good. We have to put it on this dock immediately.
They hail from the Dead Sea.
What?
Here they come. What? The Dead Sea.
What's the Dead Sea?
That's the one that's just salt.
Ah, yes.
They hail from the Dead Sea. Horses love them. Horses are just like, don't mind if I do. And then the Salt Patch Kid is like, and that's how they sound. They sound like that. And then the horse is like,
why are we giving all these things noises?
Because that's like, if you're an auditory learner like me, that's the best way to really understand what a Salt Patch Kid is like. And like, you already know horses sound like, that's what horses sound like when they're licking things.
Have you ever been around a horse before?
Technically, no. And in a less technical, more true sense, also no.
Okay. So no.
So, well, that's... Now, hold on.
In a false sense, what is the answer?
In the sense of me lying to you, I'm around horses every day.
Okay.
Big horse fan. And they all sound like this.
Okay, so from the stance of truth and true things and facts...
Well, in that stance, in that more truer sense, no, I have never seen a horse or heard a horse ever.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with, and I mean, you don't have to like roll with me on this too, but I'm gonna go with you've never seen a horse and you don't know what they sound like.
Well,
in the more truthful sense.
That's one interpretation
of just the concept of.
That's one interpretation of what happened.
Okay, I'll take that. Have you ever been kicked by a horse?
Have I ever been kicked by a horse?
Yeah.
Well, in a false sense, yes. No, I've never been kicked by a horse.
Okay, good. It's very painful. You would probably not enjoy it.
Yeah, probably. Have you ever been kicked by a horse?
Yes.
Tell me all about it. Everything.
In the chest, I was 8. It hurt.
Okay, well, that was informative.
Yes.
So the Salt Patch Kids, all joking aside, of course they don't hail from the Dead Sea. They wouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's no way they could live.
Is this kind of like giving a horse a sugar cube, but like because they like salt licks, this is like the sugar cubes of salt?
Horses like, what are salt licks?
It's a thing that a horse can play with. Like, I don't know if you've ever played like a Zoo Tycoon type game, but if you put like a salt lick down in Zoo Tycoon and there's just like a horse in there, you can just sort of like have that horse lick up that salt.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that.
It loves to lick salt. Horses like to lick salt and eat sugar.
Can you imagine how unpleasant it would be to buy like a patch of Sour Patch Kids and you just sort of get yourself ready and you're like in your car because you bought it in like the gas station. You're like have it in your seat compartment and you open it up and you pop it in. It's been like kind of a rough day because you had kind of a rough day and you instead of getting a Sour Patch Kid, you get a Salt Patch Kid and it's just very unpleasant.
I mean, that would be pretty bad. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty bad if that happened,
is why,
actually. Unless I'm a horse.
Oh.
Which is why what? Sorry, continue.
Which is why I think we should start a national campaign to spread them to every convenience store we can.
Well, because convenience stores have to be awful? Is that sort of the idea?
Well, I think I just want to increase human misery. They don't need to be awful, but this one is. These ones are.
I feel like every time I'm in a convenience store, it does increase my human misery.
Yes.
I'm there, and it's just like, it's dirty. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my whole problem with it.
It's dirty.
It's pretty gross, usually. Now, they do sometimes have like pretty good deals on candy there, or like Slurpees or whatever, so that's cool. What if Slurpees were made with salt instead of sugar? Just chew on that. Well, I guess slurp on that for a second.
Also bad, and the world would have
bad?
Very high sodium, I think.
I mean, yeah. So let's put Salt Patch Kids as like maybe we just replace all of the candy and sweets in convenience stores with salt stuff, or it's just the Salt Patch Kids.
Salt Patch Kids, they are distinct from Sour Patch Kids, but
okay, they sell both. Got it.
The thing is, make the packaging similar, so nobody can tell. It's like very hidden on there.
Is this kind of like Atlantic Rim, where they make that fake movie of Pacific Rim and they make it way cheaper so the grandma buys it for her kids?
Yes.
Or her grandkids. Like, no, for her kids, for her adult children, because it's Pacific Rim and not Atlantic Rim. And then her son is like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
You did a great job getting Pacific Rim. She's like, I thought it said Atlantic Rim. Isn't that thing I saw the commercial for? Yeah, Ma. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a trick. The grandmothers of the world.
What if, and I like this, but like ye old, that's with an E at the end.
Okay.
Ye old, of both words. Ye old convenience stores, like a sort of maybe stop-in general store wall drug type place from back in the day, back when people didn't have cars, but rather they rode around on horses. And I'm just really into this idea of not creating human misery and instead just making the world better for horses. And I really like your idea, Bradley, of creating human misery, but I hate it also. That's bad. So what if instead of that, we just had the Salt Patch Kids available back in the day when you could feed it to horses? What if we did both? And the Salt Patch Kids just never evolved out of being in the saloon. So maybe the Salt Patch Kids, or not saloon, I'm sorry, like general store, the wall drug.
Maybe it makes Pioneer Kids miserable.
I like that. I think that's good, because the kids are like, look at this horse food, I'm going to eat it. Or like maybe it's like a dare thing, like the way you might dare your friend to stare at the sun for as long as they can. Like, how many of these Salt Patch Kids could you eat? I remember once, man, the amount of times they talk about dumb things Sam did in middle school on this show. I remember once Sam had about 7 warheads in her mouth at the same time. And just had sort of tore her mouth up, all the like, acidity or whatever, and that just sort of tore her mouth up for like a solid week or so. She is not happy about it, but she's like, yeah, but I put a bunch of warheads in my mouth. And I was like, okay, Sam.
Wow, that is really dumb.
But it was pretty funny.
It is really
also,
funny.
I definitely would have done the same thing had I had access to that many warheads at the time, because warheads are the bomb.
How many?
Pun intended. Pun intended, thanks. How many warheads would I do?
How many warheads were there? And how many warheads would you do?
7, I think it was. And I think she had like 2 left over in her hand. How many would I do? I would just sort of pop them in there until I couldn't pop any more in there, and then I would probably end up choking and dying.
Yeah,
because warheads taste but they taste so good, Bradley, and then I wouldn't even have to deal with the consequences of my mouth feeling shitty.
Warheads, it's a great way to go.
Warheads, a good way to go. I'm pretty sure that's like just the entire campaign that Oppenheimer used when he was like saying, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. That was like his whole thing. He was like, warhead, it's a good way to go. And then Japan was like, reasonable enough. And now we have sanctions. And that, Timmy, is why we have sanctions on warhead. Anyway.
What are sanctions? What does that mean?
What is sanctions? I think that's like when you just like can't do something because the government said so. If you're in another country, that would be like if we were here in America and England was like, you can't take any chocolate with you to Africa. And it's like, how does that even affect you? It doesn't. But, it doesn't, but you gotta not do it because we put a sanction on that and you can't even do it. I'm pretty sure that's how sanctions work.
Stupid English people.
No, see, that accent, in my mind, I think conjures up this erudite image, but, like, I think you're right. I think English people have that accent, and this is a thing explored in Arrested Development, so I'm not even gonna go any further on it, but I was gonna talk about how the accent makes it sound like they're smart.
It does.
Even when they're not. It does.
This isn't Arrested Development. I just want to make that very clear. This isn't Arrested Development.
Our show is not Arrested Development, and any likeness to Arrested Development and just sort of like any characters
is completely purposeful and took a lot of work.
Is completely purposeful, and it did take a lot of attention on our part.
Could you please appreciate it?
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.
What were you going to say, Brad?
We are not Arrested Development, but we don't have to be Arrested Development to point out that if you're English, you sound smarter, except when you don't. Because, like, a lot of the people who have Cockney accents around England, like, you sound like a bag of rocks decided to open its mouth.
Oh, that's not very nice, Bradley.
Yeah, like that could be a person who's attended college and I wouldn't know. But anyone who's like, I guess has a posh accent, like that person is a Nobel laureate.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you think about it, really, like the Cockney accent is basically the Southern accent of England, and it is also essentially just like if you are a serf, like a modern day serf. I mean, it's not like we're gonna call you that, but like you know if you're a serf,
Surf Pride t-shirt. So now we have really sort of a great one, and I don't believe we've done it. although I'm sure we've broached the topic, and this is how to determine if someone gets into heaven or hell. Also not labeled. Probably
Also
Keegan.
How to determine if someone gets into heaven or hell. So I think, did we talk? I don't think this was on the show that we talked about this, but I was thinking about this the other day. Like, Satan and God are in on it together, right? Because, like, Satan tortures the people who did shitty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like, it's all like a ruse. It's all fake, right? Like, it's all the stuff about Satan and God being enemies. Like, they're actually totally, totally down with each other.
Well, yeah.
You know that book, Good Omens, by Terry Pratchett, about when Satan and God fell in love?
I love that book, Good Omens, about when
By Terry Pratchett, when
Yes.
Satan and God fell in love. And
Well,
in that book, it was just like, they sent Jesus out, and it was like 40 days and 40 nights or whatever, and Satan was there, and he was trying to tempt him, and that's when God fell in love with Satan, because God is Jesus, because the Bible makes sense.
Depends on which.
Because he gave birth to himself.
Yeah, you know, it's sort of like,
Yeah.
you ever see that picture, no, there's really no picture like this. I was just going to say the picture where God gives birth to himself.
I did see that one.
Oh,
I did see
good.
that one.
So it's just sort of a GIF. It just goes like imagine the concept of someone getting like sucked into their own asshole, but reverse it and make it a GIF.
Yeah, that really is bad.
Mm-hmm,
I don't like
it?
that at all.
No, me neither. But that's how God was made.
That is how God was made. So people are always like, what came before God, though? And they're like, it's turtles all the way down. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not turtles all the way down. God gave birth to himself out of his own asshole. And that's what happened, Bible scholars. You can quote me on it. So yeah, I think God and Satan are in love with each other, and they're in cahoots.
So if it's a cahoot, then that's not what I meant. So if they're in cahoots, then isn't it just random? Like somebody will show up at the gate and it's like, oh, you were a mass murderer, you go to heaven. Like St. Peter just presses a button and it goes heaven or hell. I mean, he doesn't know. You think he has like time to like pay attention to all those people? It's automated. It's like been automated since like 1960.
Yes.
St. Peter pushes a button and then either a trap door opens up underneath the victim or the gates open and they walk forward into heaven.
Okay, but what about purgatory?
That's fake. Maybe you push the button and you just go, maybe I don't want to do either. So you just stand in line forever.
Can you decide if it's completely random and you don't know it's completely random? Then I think what happens is a lot of people are like, well, I'm probably going to hell, but there's like a chance they could end up in heaven, and they're just saying they're probably going to hell. They end up in purgatory, which is actually worse than hell because it's just nothingness.
It's just letting people pass you in the line. You go ahead. No, you go ahead of me. I'm not. Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm not in any rush. Yeah, for sure.
You go ahead. You're good.
Oh no, you only have one sin. You just go right ahead. You'll be way faster than me.
It's like when you're waiting for your little brother outside Notre Dame Cathedral, because he's playing Pokemon Go.
I relate so hard.
There's a raid, and you're at the front of the line, and you have to keep letting French people pass you as they enter Notre Dame Cathedral, and somehow the line is getting stopped up where you are. Like people just aren't moving forward because they think you're stopping people from entering, but you're just a tourist. So other French tourists sneak in to the line that they just like enter Notre Dame when you're just waiting for your little brother, and you're like, no, that you have to go to the back of the line, but the rest of the line's not moving because you're standing there.
You've lost the plot.
No, the plot's very consistent. It's like purgatory is letting the fucking entire line to go into Notre Dame pass you as you wait for your little brother to show up.
Yep.
That's purgatory.
That's purgatory. So it's all completely random, and you can get out of the random system by letting people pass you in the line and pretending you're nice about it. And then maybe once you let enough people pass you, that's all super polite, and you think like, oh, I can go up now. I've done a bunch of good deeds. And then you end up going to hell anyway because that's completely random.
Yes.
But they don't tell anyone it's completely random, so it still acts as a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
I like that so very much. It's very good because it ends up just being completely meaningless, which is super cool. So it just like doesn't really matter. And I think nihilism is cool.
Do you? Do you think nihilism is cool?
Oh yeah, dude. I think just not caring and thinking nothing matters ever is really cool. It's like the cool way to be. You're super lame if you care about things.
If you put passion or effort into anything, and if you genuinely care about anything...
Oh my God, I'm bored, Bradley, shut up. I don't care.
Sorry, I was just going to say that they were stupid, but honestly, I can't be bothered to form an opinion.
It doesn't even matter.
Fuck you, maybe. If I wanted to, I would.
If I wanted to, I would, but I don't because I don't care. Because nothing matters.
I hate people like that.
Oh, I think it's just super cool. I think that's a really, really cool personality trait. So
I do that sometimes, but that's just when I'm going out to eat.
fair enough. Hey, Keegan has sent us a lot of prompts. He wants us to make a dad-anime, which is a dad anime for dads. Well, is it for dads or about dads, or is it about dads for dads?
Aiden, I don't think you've been updating the document.
Oh, I super haven't. I have not because
okay.
I haven't had time because I've been busy with stuff. Dude, I was so busy watching Galavant on Netflix.
What's Galavant?
It's the thing I'm going to recommend this week. Just you wait.
Okay.
Anyway, so Datame. First of all, I think this is definitely, I don't know about definitely, is this a slice of life anime, like one of those ones that just like mirrors real life, that's sort of just like, it's supposed to be relatable?
Yeah, sure. Get me a cut of a dad. Give me a slice of his life.
Okay, it's a cut of that dad, I think is the name of the anime, Cut of That Dad.
Okay.
First of all the dads have huge badonkadonks. Like, no one watches anime if there's no big boobies. So all the dads just like big man boobs.
Okay.
Which I think is relatable for dads anyway.
Yeah, no. I agree.
I just think that's just a dad trait. You know,
No.
dad bod?
I do.
This anime really explores all the depths of what that can mean.
Okay. Hey, nice dad bod. Yeah, I know. I see.
Dude, hey, you have a nice dad bod too. And that's like the whole first episode is they're all just complimenting each other's dad bods.
I think this thing has been made.
This might have been made. But here's my thought. I know we were going to do a slice of life anime, but what if we did a sports anime?
Okay.
And I know we already did sort of a competition game show type thing this episode, but I think it might be fun to do an anime, a sports anime of dads. And the question, I guess, that I have is, are they competing to see who can be the best dad, or is it a bunch of dads in a sport, just like playing a sport? Maybe it's like a rec softball league.
Oh, boy. People get really intense in that.
Yeah, they do. And maybe like somebody's nose gets broken in the first episode and they have to go to the ER, and then it becomes like a doctor show, and then there's a lawsuit and it becomes a lawyer show, so that it like changes genre every episode.
And then a crime show after the dude skips bail.
The dude skips bail, and then he has to get the money to pay for the lawyer again, so it becomes like a heist movie for an episode. I really like this, and there's just like a whole lot of dad humor in it. Just like every joke is just like a really, really easy, low-hanging fruit pun. None of the jokes are like too complex, so
Yeah.
like dads can understand it. Like, it won't be very meta or meme-like. It won't be surrealist at all. It'll just be very, very easy to understand, good old classic American dad humor.
It'll be straightforward.
Lots of stuff about like, oh, my kids. Oh, Bradley, my kids. Oh my God, they are so annoying. They're always like in the car.
I have to like feed them.
And they're like in the car, and they're like in my house, and like they're in my house asking, are we there yet? And they're in the car like, can I have some food to eat? And it's like, you're asking those questions in the wrong place.
Can we go to McDonald's? You're in the house already. I can't take you anywhere.
We are in McDonald's right now, Jeremy. Jeremy, you asked me 3 minutes ago on our way past. I want to go to McDonald's. Dad, give me an ice cream cone. You're holding 3 ice cream cones right now, and 2 of them are on your face. 2 of them are on your face. The other one is on the floor, and you're still holding the cone.
You made me buy 2 other ice cream cones for you just so you could have ice cream horns. I'm not buying you another ice cream cone.
Use a freaking napkin. Is the horn the ice cream part, or is it the cone part and the ice cream's holding the cone to the head? Yeah. Are the horns coming out of the kid's eyes?
Oh my God, sure. That'd be weird, but sure.
Well, think about it like this, right? The kid maybe got a black eye. Like, he fell off his scooter earlier and right into a boxer, just sort of punching.
Yeah.
And the dad took him to McDonald's to make him feel better. And then it was like, instead of putting a slab of meat on the kid's face, just like, here, don't mind if I do, ice creamy-roo. And he just puts the ice cream on there. And it's just like, well, now you got a cone horn and ice cream in your eyes. I had to do that at physical therapy yesterday, which was weird.
You had to put ice cream in your eyes?
I did, because I had like really just messed up my eyes, and that was why I was at physical therapy. For eyes.
For eyes? That's unique.
That's why they call it occupational therapy.
Oh.
That's where it gets the name, because people hurt their eyes and they go there.
That's sick.
I'm not sick, though. It's just like a physical issue. So I'm not sick. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you.
Okay.
Bradley, I think before we wrap up, do you have any good stories from your first week of college? Is there anything you haven't told me about yet?
Nothing. Not that I know of. Everyone is decent. I don't understand. I'm in a science pre-orientation. I don't usually do science. I chose to be in here because I wanted to challenge myself. I now realize that's pointless and stupid, and I will never challenge myself again because I'm still bad at science. Not as bad as I was, maybe. I don't know. Very bad at self-assessment. maybe not as bad as I was either, but I don't know.
You should take a self-assessment pre-orientation.
Oh, I'd hate it. I'm super bad at it, maybe.
I'm majoring in self-assessment. Yeah, I'm just getting really into understanding myself and sort of self-criticizing to improve.
If I say I'm bad at self-assessment, but I'm actually good at it, that means I'm bad at it, which means I can't be good at it, which means I am good at it, which means I can't be bad at it.
Or you could just not say anything about it, which means you could be bad at it. But now that you've said you're bad at self-assessment, then you must be good at self-assessments. That's pretty cool.
I'm not going to think about it anymore, else I'm going to explode.
Oh, shit. You don't want that.
No, that sucks. I don't think there's anything... College has been pretty chill so far. I mean, not really, because I've had a lot of things to do. I've been very busy. But other than that, it's been like, doable. I've been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been doing it? Okay, that's good. Well, a lot of people start doing it in college. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
Okay.
And I'm glad you're proud of that and willing to share that with me.
No problem.
I'm really proud of you. You're getting it in 2018.
Heck yeah.
Bradley Berkovich. Hey, you want to end the episode? I think that's you.
Yeah, sure. Well,
hell yeah.
I'm going to go through housekeeping and then we're going to do the fun bits. So, our Facebook group.
Hey, I don't want to talk about my fun bits just because you're talking about doing it. That's not something I want to talk about.
We don't want to do that.
Sorry.
So if you want to send us prompts, contact us in any way, discuss the episode, leave us hate mail, or threaten our bodily, just us. We have several places to do that. We have our Facebook group, which is Good Idea Podcast, our Twitter, which is @GoodIdeaCast, as is our Tumblr and our Insta. That's all @GoodIdeaCast.
Now you're going to want to look at those, look for those on their respective websites. So if you're looking for our Twitter @GoodIdeaCast, don't go on Instagram to do that.
You will find our Instagram.
You will not find our Twitter.
No.
You will find our Instagram though, which is cool.
Also good. Our Gmail.
Continue.
Is goodideapodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. We love you guys so much. Thank you.
If they love us, they'll spread the word about our podcast because we don't pay for advertising. We just ask that you do it for us.
This is a huge favor that you should feel obligated to do.
We will come to your house and punch you if you don't. That's my promise.
We will. That's the thing. And it's like, if you want to, and don't even think about this. Don't even think about it this way. Like, I know you might want to meet us or whatever. And so you might just like not share the show. So we'll come to your house to punch you. Or maybe you're just like into being punched or whatever. Don't even think about it like that. Cause we'll know. We'll know. And we will not, rest assured, we will not be there if you want us to be there. We will only be there if you don't want us to be there.
Heck yeah. Aiden, what was your favorite idea of the episode?
My favorite idea of the episode, I think the whole thing had a really nice flow to it. I'm trying to remember. I really enjoyed expanding my AC, the fun bit about armor. I think that was like a really nice sort of, oh, fuck that. No, the Avatar The Last Airbender conspiracy.
I was also going to do Avatar The Last Airbender conspiracy just because his head points north.
Oh, that's fucking so funny. It does. His head does always point north.
Oh, boy.
That's the weird thing. That's how they found their way to the North Pole. That was the whole, that was the thing that they didn't explain. Like, they're like, how are they even finding their way? It's not like that map is going to show them. It's not a GPS. It doesn't automatically update. Like, how did people even fucking find their way around in the old days? Maps don't even work. Maps don't even work if it's not a GPS. How do you even use a map without a satellite? I don't know, but I bet they were all just, like, guessing.
Pretty much.
I bet that's not a deficiency in my knowledge. Like, they were probably just, like, getting lucky.
I agree. And Aiden, what?
My pick of the week?
Yes, you mentioned it earlier.
Okay, well, see, I feel obligated to recommend Mean Girls the musical.
No, don't. It's bad.
But
Galavant. It's bad.
It's good. Shut up. It's good. I've listened to it multiple times, especially Revenge Party. Revenge Party. Okay. From Mean Girls the musical. It's a fucking bop. Anyway, Galavant though, which is a different musical thing. It's a TV show called Galavant. It was on ABC. It's on Netflix now. It's only like 8 episodes, 20 minutes each for the first season. I think the same for the second season. And it's a fun musical comedy TV show that takes place in the 1200s, and it's really, really well produced. And it's super, super funny. And Timothy Odmanson or whatever is in it. And he plays like a super effeminate king, which is awesome. It's just really a very good TV show. It makes me very, very happy. So that's my recommendation. Galavant on Netflix from ABC. Bradley, go do it.
So I've been very busy this week, and I haven't had much time to do any media, to watch anything.
Boo.
Yeah, I know, right? Except I have had time for one thing, and I'd personally like to recommend a Good Idea podcast, which I listen to.
Oh, okay. Did you really?
Yes.
Which one?
The most recent one about France.
Oh, okay. You listened to this one's for you, us.
Yes.
And how was it?
It was for me. I liked it. It was for me, I think.
Us. It was for you.
Us.
Us.
Okay, great.
Hey, thanks for recommending that show I'm on. That was really nice of you.
No problem.
Do you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. I will hella take us out. That was a good idea. Being at college is lonely because you're not there with people you like. Yet, I think. We're done here.